But you do feel more comfortable with the secondary than you did a year ago now, like
A million times.
a million times.
That's why I didn't even say. I think that position is going to be the most improved on the A&M football team.
Hey everyone, it's the TexAgs Rewind Packed House. Really busy Friday, so check it out. We had Randy McCown in studio, Billy in studio. Busy show. Who am I forgetting, Matthew Dawson? 24 and 24. Anyways, here it is.
The Coach Elko era, what do you think so far heading into this year?
Had a chance to talk to a number of people who are close to the Aggies program, and the vibe that I get is one of optimism because some things are being addressed that needed to be addressed, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But the bottom line is the people that I talked to felt like the Aggies simply weren't a tough enough football team to compete at the level that they want to compete at. And so I think they're anxious. I like Mike Elko a lot. I think he's going to bring a new attitude. You guys are closer to it than I am, but I see optimistic now. If Connor Wigman can stay healthy, you got a shot.
Tony, you've always liked the possibilities of Texas A&M, right? Kind of like it was kind of like they're a pre-Steve Spurrier Florida, maybe.
Yep.
That's never really figured it out. What do you think are the steps that? Or first of all, are you still do you still believe in those possibilities? And what do you think it's going to take for A&M to reach them?
I absolutely believe in the possibilities because when you look at Texas, I mean, I've been to Texas A&M. I've toured the facilities since they did that last renovation for Kyle Field, and everything is there. There's nothing missing at Texas A&M that you should not compete for a national championship. So that's number one, and I think people are genuinely excited, and we will see. It's going to be interesting, guys, because what's going to make the season interesting is Texas A&M is not going to play that SEC West schedule. Okay, that's different, and everybody's schedule is going to be different. And it's going to be hard, but that's what's so fast. That's why this season is going to be so interesting. There's so much that we don't know that's only going to be revealed once they start playing the games.
I think that the reason why the money has come to athletes in this way is because there hasn't been enough people sitting around the table to organize what is the best way to continue to incentivize performance, right? How do you incentivize that in college athletics as opposed to, hey, we're going to give you $200,000 to come here, and then if you get injured or if you don't play well, we're just going to renege on the offer and not pay you your money, right? And so I think that for me, I don't ever want to put any caps on anyone's earnings potential, especially in sports like, especially in athletics, which we know do not last forever, but also in dangerous sports like football. And the problem is there are so many young athletes who are generating money for their schools. There's also athletes who aren't generating money for their schools, and they have their own set of issues. But there's so many athletes who are generating money from their schools, but by the time they leave their school, they walk away with nothing but memories and bumps and bruises to show for it. So I think that to alleviate the potential harm that money at an early age can do to any of us, right? Whether we're athletes or not, I think it takes providing them with support, providing with the real education around money and the real infrastructure that they need, but also doing some of the things that we've created for them. Any athlete in our platform, it's free membership. They get free background checks. They get free contract review by pro bono lawyers. They get mental wellness resources. They get free second medical opinions. Why? Because these are things that the NFLPA provided for me as an athlete to help make sure that I did not get taken advantage of. Now, bad apples are still going to slip through the cracks, but ultimately there just needs to be more support around college athletes as they earn this money, because you can't go backwards. And these athletes have the ability to change their financial lives forever today. We shouldn't limit them from that.
He is better and deeper in the secondary. I still don't know if there's an Antonio Johnson back there. Right. I think Jalen Jones was a really good corner. He just couldn't stay healthy long enough to show it. He showed it, but not how good I think he could be and how good he was on certain Saturdays. But as a secondary as a whole, he's got so much more depth. I think he's got so much more to work with, and a lot of that has to do with what they did in the portal. But it's the ability to get to the quarterback without having to throw so many resources at it that I think is going to make this defense, in the way he calls it, just a little bit different and a lot better.
But you do feel more comfortable with the secondary than you did a year ago now, like
A million times.
Million times.
That's why I didn't even say. I think that position is going to be the most improved on the A&M football team. And then my debate is whether it's O-line or linebacker. Linebacker won't. I don't know how it'll necessarily be improved, but the core, the unit. Because here's the thing: if the Aggies would have suffered an injury to York or Cooper last year, they'd have been in a bad way really quick. They got depth now there, and they've got guys that are really competing, for spots. And like I said, they look good. They look really athletic. By the way, I don't know so much was talked about the guys that left in the portal. The more I watch Besantis and Chappelle, and whether Chappelle's one of your two starting corners or your nickel, I think he's out there, and he's out there a ton. I think he's kind of, what would you call it, cross training. Those two guys coming back are a big, big deal.
the bonfire game. But just talk about that final fourth quarter and everything going through your mind there.
Oh man, it was wild. The things I remember about that game, I remember there was kind of a weird calm to it, because we didn't play that great the first half. But man, it was never, sometimes you go into halftime and you have this sense of like, man, we only got a half left. We got to get it together. And there never really was that. And then just that whole dynamic of how that thing just kind of went and developed. And then, I can vividly remember like that snap. And, I was leaving Bumgardner a message this morning because he's supposed to come to Jacksonville this weekend. I said, look left and there's Taylor, look right and there's Bum. And then you just throw it up. And then to have like the last pass I threw in that stadium was that pass. Mm-hmm. It's kind of one of those things like, you wish you'd got drafted or you wish, And that was how many kids get to say
in the background.
Yeah. But, that was it. The last pass that I threw in that stadium was to beat them to my roommate, and it was for a touchdown.
I was going to ask you, what did that mean, throwing that to Bum? But I think most people don't understand how close y'all are.
Oh, man.
For that to be forever, like just etched in the minds of Aggies.
Yeah, and this is going to sound like this is kind of made up, but I promise you it's not. There was no telling because we roomed together, shared a room a lot of times. And, as anytime when you're the receiver, you're rooming with the quarterback, you're going to pitch your case anytime you can, man, just throw it up. And, man, I can remember, man, that is as weird as this sounds, I can remember that voice going like, man, just throw it up. And I was like, okay. And so if you look at that pass, that wasn't a dime.
No, yeah.
That was just
faith in your receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't like today they do the back shoulder and it looks like, wow. I was just like, let's throw it up.
All right, everyone, like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more TexAgs content. Come back next week. Thanks.